right, now, in this video, I wanted to speak about the future of rideshare, the future of these platforms, Uber and Lyft. And I feel like this is a very, very important video. I want all of you guys out there watching to stick with me to the end of the video. And I promise I'm not going to make this a long one. I'm going to sum it up kind of quick for you guys. And get down in the comments. Let me know what you guys actually think. This is going to be a community conversation. I make this video, for all new drivers, all existing drivers. So let's go ahead and get into it, because I sometimes get a lot of different interesting comments under my videos from subscribers, people that have viewed, whatever the case may be. There was one comment that I got from a viewer in particular. And it was under one of my videos where I spoke about how much money I make inside of the rideshare industry part-time. And I don't really remember the comment word for word, but basically it went as, you're not supposed to tell people how much money you make in any field that you're in. And they said like cannibalism and, you're supposed to keep it a secret, and you're the reason why all of these people are starting to flock to rideshare, because you make it easy to know the game and how much you make and blah, 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 blah. And if less people knew, we wouldn't have to worry about so many different people getting into rideshare and everything like that. It was a long comment. And, he spoke about cannibalizing yourself by telling people how much money you make. And the one thing that I love is that what I've noticed over the last couple months is that typically when people leave comments like this, if you play around with them, they'll go on and on and on. But if you hit them with like a 1-2 punch out the gate, like you leave one reply that completely shuts them down, they won't even reply. And it is what it is. But that comment was very important as this video goes, because it's the future of what my perspective is. And some of you out there watching, you might have a different perspective. Leave your comments down below. Now, I told him, and I was just kind of making an assumption here, because I can imagine that the guy who left this comment, he's a guy out there in the rideshare industry. He's driving on Uber and Lyft. He's going hard. He's going 60, 70, maybe even 80 hours a week. He's been doing this since the very beginning. He sees the decline year by year, right? But in his mind, he is hoping that he's going to ride this pony to the very end of his time here on this earth, right? Now, I don't know how old he is. I know that there's a lot of older gentlemen and gals here in the rideshare industry. So don't get me wrong. Depending on how old you are, you can ride this pony to the end of your time here on this earth. Me personally, I'm 34 years old. 34. I'm 34. I plan to have a long time here on this earth, right? So it's safe to say, for all of you out there watching this video, if you're around my age, definitely stick around, because and it's kind of sad to see sometimes, because even when I'm out and about, I might pull into the wait stop at the airport, talk to some other drivers, things like that. The reality of it is that there are a lot of people out there that they're my age. They're even younger than me. They might be in their late 20s. And somehow in their mind, they've already put into it that they love the rideshare industry, and this is going to be something that they do for a long time. They're in this thing for the long haul. And it's so disappointing, because in my opinion, when it comes to the future, there's going to be a point very, very soon, and it's probably actually going to be within the next maybe 10 years. I don't want to say that it's going to be right around the corner, but let's just go ahead and say the next 10 years. Because we've known for many years, they've been testing the fact of they can send cars without a driver out into the cities and towns, and people will get into these vehicles without a physical person being there. Now, something like this, you still have people in the world that says, no, that will actually never happen. The reality of it is that it's going to happen. The only big question mark is going to be, how long does it take? Because you'll have a period where it's rolled out into some cities, and then when you see that rollout, you'll probably still have another 5 to 10 years before people driving Uber is going to be completely out. Because if you're someone out there watching this video and you don't agree, let me pose you a question. Right now, these rideshare companies haven't really been putting a profit on the books. What do you think happens when they can keep 100% of the actual profits? Now, don't get me wrong. They would have to buy the vehicles now. They don't own any vehicles. They would have to buy these vehicles. When you really think about it, yes, that's a very expensive cost, but the reality is that if they had to buy hundreds of thousands, millions of vehicles, whatever the case may be, they'll have their shops that these vehicles pull into, and they can take care of maintenance and whatever the case may be. And the company would pay for all of that, right? They'll just have some employees to do oil changes, whatever the case may be. But one thing for sure is that it's a more profitable option for them over the long haul, 10, 20 years. Like, they'll take a big hit out of pocket when they go to release something like this. And they may have some other different investors and partners that they link up with, so they don't have to come out of pocket a full 100%. But the reality is that it's going to happen. And whoever invests in this idea and puts up the money for the self-driving vehicles, yes, it's going to be a lot of money out of pocket initially. But the reality of it is that if these rideshare companies can eliminate the driver, own the vehicles, it's a lot of money out of pocket. But let's look at it over 5 years. Let's look at it over 10 years. You buy these vehicles, they're still running and running and running. They do an old taxi cab system with it, where back in the day, you would have a taxi company. They bought a vehicle in 1985, and somehow, some way, that vehicle has like 600,000 miles on it, and it's still running 15, 20 years later. No matter what town or city you live in, you know what I'm talking about. That's, the actual reality of it. So this is what I actually see for the future. And a lot of investors, a lot of the heads over at these rideshare companies, they see it too. They're building an infrastructure to the point where it's like, you know what? One day we're going to be very, 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 very profitable. We won't actually need these drivers. So if you believe in AI, robots and everything like that, the reality of it is that all of us, because I'm included in it, I drive part-time. The reality is that all of us are participating in an industry that can be heavily, heavily, heavily affected by AI. Just let that sit and think in for a minute. Now, I promised you I wasn't going to keep this video too long. I hope that was some good food for thought for a lot of you out there that are banking on this industry as a money provider in your life for the complete long haul, because in all reality, that's the gist of it. I hate to break it to you, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, do, like always, get subscribed to the channel and give this video a thumbs up if you found value from it. Money Making Joey, I'm out of here, and I will see you guys in the next one.